pledge allegiance. Roll call. Cassidy here. Cassidy here. Vita.
Here.
Here. Donahue. Donahue absent. Holly here. Holly here. Barrenwell. Barrenwell absent. Hill. Hill absent. Beck. Here. Beck here. Carr.
Here.
Carr here. Cantelo-Zylman. Here. Cantelo-Zylman here. Slattery. Slattery absent. Clinker. Here. Clinker here. Johnson.
Here.
Johnson here. Alexander.
Here.
Alexander here. Bellato. Bellato absent. 8 present.
Thank you very much.
Or 9, excuse me.
Now we move on to number 4, presentation of journal proceedings. I'll need a motion to approve the city council minutes for the date of February the 25th, 2020. Do I have a motion by Alderman Clinker? Do I have a second by Alderman Meck? Any questions? Roll call, please.
Costas. Costas, aye. Rita.
Aye.
Rita, aye. Holly.
Aye.
Holly, aye. Mac.
Aye.
Mac, aye. Carr.
Aye.
Carr, aye. Cantelo-Zylman.
Aye.
Cantelo-Zylman, aye. Clinker.
Aye.
Clinker, aye. Johnson.
Aye.
Johnson, aye. Alexander.
Aye.
Alexander, aye. 9 ayes, Your Honor.
Thank you very much. Next, move to public comment. Anyone? Yes.
Good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Reverend Robert L. House Sr., and I'm here to ask a few questions and also make a few statements. As I look at the number of aldermen that Blue Island has already, which is 14, am I correct?
Yes.
Yes, okay. And I look at the minuscule salary that the alderman gets, something like $6,200. Times 7 is $43,400, which is a very small amount. If you probably look at what the other aldermen are making in the county of Cook, one alderman may make more than 5 or 6 of the aldermen here. So I'm wondering why change things if everything is working so well. It's my understanding you've had 14 aldermen for probably at least maybe 75 or 100 years. Is that right? So I'm wondering why would we need to change it for such a minuscule amount of return as far as the road fund being about 40-some thousand per year. Over 5 years would come out to about $200 and some thousand. I'm just wondering why change a good thing that Blue Island has. You have had 14 aldermen for such a long time. You have such a diverse group, women, minorities, the whole conglomerate together here, and it's been working well. It seems like these, if it's reduced, it's going to put more work on the 6 or 7 aldermen that would be in charge. When you have aldermen now working for such a small amount of money, so we can see it's not a money thing, that they're giving of themselves greatly for such a small return. I think Blue Island has a good representation of diversity, gender, whatever you would call it, and it's working well. So I don't see a need why it would need to be changed for the savings, which is very small. A budget of $32 million, saving about $43,400 per year over a period of time, that's not going to add too much to a road fund. And when you already have such a good group that's willing to work for such a small amount of money. So these are some of the questions I have, and I just, maybe the mayor or the clerk could answer those questions for me.
Unfortunately, I didn't propose the petition, so let's go to our city clerk.
Yeah, the city clerk then.
This is a, it's not a city-driven item. I mean, I've been in, I mean, I'll talk if you want me to, Mayor. I mean,
If you want, why don't you give them a little education as to what?
Well,
But again, it's not a city
it's not.
petition.
This is a referendum that was put forth by a private citizen, not by the city council. Okay,
So
first of all.
you're voting on the recommendation of the proposal that has been put forward by a private citizen. That's what
Correct.
the meeting is about.
Correct. It's
I
not a
got you.
city-driven referendum.
I got you. Well, I just wanted to speak in favor of what you already have. The old saying, if it's not broken, why fix it? And I think that 14 aldermen working so far, working for such a small amount. If you look around the area with other towns this size, a little less or more in population, aldermen are getting 30, 40, 50,000 a year. They're working for $6,200 or something in that range, and still willing to do that work, 14. So I'm in favor of keeping it as it is. That's my main point for being here tonight, is to keep it as it is, because it's doing a great job and has done a great job in Blue Island. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Hi, everyone.
My name is Elisa Miller, and I'm the site administrator for the Beloved Community Family Wellness Center located in Robbins, Illinois. And we provide medical, dental, behavioral health, nutrition, and transportation services for the community of Robbins. And we just wanted to extend our services to the community of Blue Island. We do presently serve a lot of the residents in Blue Island, but we just wanted to make sure that the council knew the services we provide, and anyone in need of services, that they can contact us at the Beloved Community Family Wellness Center. We also have outreach case managers that help individuals with their Medicaid application, SNAP benefits, and other resources. So we have plenty of information here, and feel free to contact the clinic, or if you know of anyone in need of services, we do provide transportation to the clinic and back to their homes.
Thank you very much. Any questions from the council?
Could I have one of your flyers?
Yeah.
Alderman Carr? We have a question from Alderman Carr.
Do you help, are you strictly a health agency, or do you do other types of social work?
So we have a licensed clinical social worker for individuals in need of housing, food, other resources outside of the medical component. We do provide those services.
Okay, thank you.
Alderman Clinker, go ahead.
Could I grab one of those also? I work at food pantry at St. Benedict's on Fridays. I'm sure I could find someone that might be able to use your services.
Julius is my outreach case manager, so he's going to pass.
They'll just take a couple if you wouldn't mind.
Alderman,
Thank you.
Rita, go ahead.
Do you do school physicals or immunizations for school at a lower rate, or?
Yes, so we accept all forms of insurance at our clinic except for assigned PCPs through the HMO plans. We do
Okay, so you do have to have insurance, right?
No, well, we do have an in-house sliding fee scale.
Okay.
And that's for individuals that may not have insurance or not have enough insurance. For the insured, the underinsured as well. And that's based on the annual income and the household size. We are part of the Vaccine for Children's program, so we do provide physicals, immunizations. We do have a new state-of-the-art dental clinic on site as well. And now that's a requirement to have dental screenings along with the physicals, so we provide that as well.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Alderman Johnson, would you like to make a comment? I know you're the alderman who introduced them to us.
Well, I just wanted to make a comment that they're doing a lot in everybody's community, and they want to do more in Blue Island. I went to go visit the facility, which used to be the old Cedar building in Robbins, and they actually renovated it, and it really looks very, very well. And like I said, I wanted to make sure that if the great job that they're doing, that Blue Island has a piece of it too.
That's fine. We appreciate. Anybody else, any other alderman? Again, welcome to the area.
Thank you.
And again, whatever services, if you can provide services to our community, it'd be great.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Hi,
I'm posing this question to the clerk. I heard what you said earlier to the other resident of Blue Island, but I'm asking you because on the postcard, your name is on it. So as it stands now, my ward has 2 aldermen. One has a 2-year and one has a 4-year term. I need clarification. So if the 7 aldermen goes through, what will happen, if anything, to the alderman that has a 4-year term? Will his term expire? Will he have to run again? That's the direct question, but I also like to just make comments about the entire thing. On the low end where I live, services are poor as it is with 2 aldermen. I can't help but repeat, everybody ran on fixing the streets. And that little bit of money that will be saved if we only have 7 aldermen isn't going to do very much, but I guess it would be a start. I just need more answers before voting on this 7 aldermen versus 14. And I also like to point out the example was given that places like Orland and so forth has a lower amount, I'm not sure, 6 or something, but they also have more money than we do. Much more money, I would assume, than we do. And Blue Island is in bad shape. So can you please answer that for me? You understand the question?
Oh, sure.
Oh, okay.
Sure. So if it does pass, all 7 aldermen would have to run again. Everyone would have to run again, first of all. Second of all, I've been on 2 boards, one as an administrator for Orland Township, where I reported to a board of 5. I'm on the school board of 218, and I'm one of 7. And I find it's a lot harder to get things done with 14 people. And it's just good governance, in my opinion, and that's why we're asking the people to vote.
Thank you.
Go ahead, Alderman.
Clerk, could you let the public know how much does it cost to repair 1 block streets?
Anywhere, average, I don't know, Eric, about $250,000?
$250,000.
Right, no, it's about governance. It's not about the savings, the seed money. I mean, you don't put away your college money in the first paycheck.
No, but I just want everyone to know that it costs
Oh, no,
$1 million
you're absolutely right.
just to do 1 block. So the $42,000 that's going to be saved, since we want to be transparent, tell the whole truth. Don't just say we're going to use that money from 7 aldermen to repair the streets when that won't even repair a block.
If that's the...
Let them know the whole truth.
If that's the...
So we want transparency, give it all, not half.
If that's what the misconception is, I apologize, but that's not the intent of the question. The question is, when I mentioned, I referenced that I worked at Orland Township, they have a road fund, and that was run separately from the general fund, and it's very transparent when you have separate monies and separate funds. We have the water fund, we have the golf fund, we have TIF funds. So that's my only point to that, Alderman.
Okay, well, I'm going off of your card as well,
Right.
and that's what it says. So I wanted to make sure that the public knew
Sure.
the whole truth.
Sure,
not
I
half the
have
truth.
no problem talking about it.
Okay.
Alderman Mick, go ahead.
I've gotten many calls today because of the postcard or flyer that's gone out. And I think the question is, you stated before that an independent or individual has pushed this forward. And who is that?
My mother's boyfriend is the one who submitted it.
Okay.
But I was the driver behind it as a private citizen, not as a city clerk.
Okay, the problem is, in my opinion, is that it also said that you're the city clerk. And it's on there. And I think there's 2 different sayings here. Yes, it's driven by a citizen, but yet it's from the clerk's office, but not represented by the city.
It's not from the city clerk's
Right.
office. If you look at the permit,
Okay, on the permit, but on the card that people get in their mail, and they will take that and consider that to cast their vote.
It's my quote.
I have a problem that it came from your office, Randy. I've known you for 50 years, and I have a problem with this.
So do I.
Go ahead, Alderman.
My question is that it's stated that like Alsip and Orland have like 4 or 5 aldermen. What do they get paid?
I don't know anything about the pay.
Pay more than we do, right?
That's
I'm
what,
sure
I mean,
they
it
do.
didn't state that in the
But the
card.
point-
So
the
that's my
point-
biggest concern is it's made a fact that those aldermen, there's 4, 5, 6 aldermen in some of those cities, but it doesn't say what they're getting paid also.
I understand that.
It's
I
like
understand that.
double or triple.
Alderman
I understand that.
Johnson.
Yeah, well, I felt I was the only person in my ward before Ms. Alexander got in office anyway. So, but the thing is, whether we got 7, 14, 28, if the person you elected don't have it in their heart to do their job, it doesn't matter how many aldermen you got.
Exactly.
Because they're not gonna do the job. So the thing is, whether we have 7, 14, or 28, just make sure the person that you're getting in office are gonna represent that area that you live in to the best of their ability. Because the first ward is the largest land ward. I have a lot to cover, and I covered it for several years by myself. And I don't wish that on nobody, but I wanted to be elected to represent the people of the first ward, so I take the responsibility of doing so. Period.
Alderman, since you mentioned that, let me make this comment. It's been 8 months, as you said, that you've done it by yourself.
Yeah.
Has anybody seen Alderman Alicia Slatter? Because it's been 8 months that she has not been seated at that desk, receiving a paycheck from all of you. So that's an issue that needs to be addressed as soon as possible. And I bring that since it was brought up now, it needs to be addressed, and it will be addressed. Go ahead.
My turn. In the words of Malcolm X, what you see today are the chickens that have come home to roost. We have one party in power. The party in power is not representing the citizens. I want to make sure that you all hear me. That's number one. Number two, yes, the postcard was confusing because it said Randy Hoyser, comma, city clerk. And I'm absolutely perfectly fine with that. What you need to keep in mind is, during the remap, and some of you remember the remap, some don't, how many years and how many election cycles did it take to implement the remap? Does anybody remember?
2.
Right now, no
It's
ma'am.
2, wasn't it?
3. We have the tail end of the cycling in from the remap, because now we have Alderman Meck and Alderman Clinker running for 2-year terms. In the next election, if this passes, decisions will have to be made regarding how this is titrated in. It's not going to be everybody runs, because guess what? Miss Alexander, you just ran for a 4-year term.
And I want all.
So pardon me, you get to serve your full term. Nobody can put you out of your seat. And the decision regarding how this is implemented will be made by guess who?
City council.
You know, that's another reason why I actually like you, Miss Alexander, because you actually think independently, at least some of the time.
Most of the time.
Now, Alderman Johnson, you're absolutely right. When the ward map changed, you were the only person representing your ward for how many years?
3.
Nah, it was more than that.
Well, yeah,
It was way more than that.
but I only got paid $4,200.
Right, you only got paid one alderman's salary. You're absolutely right. Now, there's no way in the world that Alderman Ringo Hill, Alderman Cantelo, William Cesars, Annette, Alexander, Nancy Rita, or Bill Fairwell can be put, did I say you, Mr. Hill?
Yes, you did.
Okay, I want to make sure I didn't leave you out. There's no way you can legally be put out of your seat because you've won an election. please correct me if I'm wrong, City Attorney, Mrs. Kelly Burke.
Is your question about whether...
Can they be put out of their seats after they won it?
You're going to run us out.
I'm going to reserve the answer on that because I have not read the referendum question. So I'm going to reserve an answer, and we'll have to get back.
Well, the referendum question really is quite confusing, but, and aside from all that, I can honestly tell you, no, our aldermen are not representing their constituents. For my alderman, Mrs. Carr, you've been in office a long time. What are your 5 major accomplishments for all the years you've been in office? Don't answer. Don't answer. Our streets in our ward, when it was the 4th ward, are atrocious. Our streets in the 6th ward, they're atrocious. I don't want to hear about there's no TIF money for that. Guess what? There's no money for anything. At the last finance meeting, there was backslapping and hurrah, hurrah. Not the one last night. The one before that. All the savings. I don't see it, because we just had to sell more than $5 million in bonds to pay out lawsuit money. We're not running in the black. If you have a bond that you've got to pay, you're not running in the black, you're running in the red. This stuff has got to stop. We've got to see thoughtful, considerate answers, not 10 votes aye. Because, like any good math teacher would tell you, solve the problem and defend your answer. And most of the answers are indefensible. We have a finance department, a finance director, and a treasurer. Yet, we have money that's unaccounted for. Nobody can explain where money is that appears to be missing. How there's only this little bit of money from golf course rentals instead of the correct amount of money. We've got a golf course director or manager. Somebody should have caught these errors, not just the finance department, the finance director, the city treasurer, Mr. Ruthenberg, and of course our finance committee. You gotta work together, you gotta start cooperating, and I don't need you to sit around holding hands singing Kumbaya. You're here to check each other's work. You're here to work on behalf of the taxpayers, and the job is not easy. But guess what? Somebody twisted your arm, somebody talked you into it, you were self-motivated. For some reason, you decided you wanted the job, and you ran for office, and you won. Well, for some of the aldermen, I've had to tell them, okay, you got to take an air bath and walk into office, but I promise you, you don't know what you just got yourself into. And of course, afterwards, they come back and tell me, you know what, Ms. Green, you're right. Do your job. That way you won't have people here asking, what are you doing? Where's the money? What happened? What's going on? Yes. For 9 months, we've not seen Alderman Alicia Slattery. If we had 7 aldermen instead of 14, there would be no representation in the 7th ward. Mayor Vargas, yes. Please, the 7th ward, I don't live there, deserves representation. Certainly there's the appearance that Ms. Slattery has vacated her seat. By all means, please appoint someone so that Mr. Clinker doesn't have to hold it down by himself, because he's doing what she should be doing, including chairing the committee that she was supposed to chair.
Correct.
And you're actually doing a pretty good job, by the way. Your committee notes are far more self-explanatory than anyone else's.
Thank you.
Really. I don't agree with everything that gets done, but at least there's an explanation. For everything else, what we have are skeleton notes, so that if somebody comes in to look at that stuff, you don't know what the heck happened. Same thing with the city council meeting minutes. Skeleton. We have questionable campaign donations. We have questionable actions. Can the city council do better? Is there room for improvement? You bet. You bet. And what you see here tonight really is the chickens come home to roost. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Anyone else? Now let me move on. Mr. Rango, could you come to the podium, please? As Mr. Dennis Rango is approaching the podium, for the aldermen who don't know, Mr. Rango was the first Hispanic alderman elected for the city of Blue Island. In what year, Mr. Rango?
1995.
Okay. And during that period of time, his family as well as my family has lived in the Blue Island area for approximately between 90 to 100 years. So, Mr. Rango, why don't you tell the council who you are and what you do?
Okay, first of all, my name is Dennis Rango. I'm the son of Ben and Cecilia Rango. I was appointed to this position that I currently have by Mayor Poloquin back in 2004. Prior to that, George Hines was the other representative. And as far as I know, there wasn't anybody else. So it's been George and myself that have held this position for the longest time. I've served in the military from 1961 to 1964. I served in Korea. I also am a official for college and high school sports. I'm still active in doing that. I'm the father of 5, and all my children went to Eisenhower High School, and they all graduated. I inspect these all 5 of these stations of Blue Island twice a month. I come around and they need something to be done. The Metro stations, Metro takes care of all the stations. So if there's anything that needs a repair, Metro does the job of fixing it. The parking lots are something else. Metro owns some of them, and Blue Island owns some of them. When I go around inspecting these areas, if there's something that needs to be done, usually it's trash that needs to be picked up. I get a hold of Christina, and she usually gets the people that pick up trash to take care of the job. Other than that, like I said, I've been doing this for since 2004, and it's a voluntary position. I don't get paid for this. So if anybody wants to take the job, be my guest. Like I said, my folks and my brother, I have 2 sisters that live in Blue Island, and I'm a resident of Blue Island. I was a resident of Blue Island for 50 years, 60 years. I still love Blue Island, and that's why I, again, take care of these stations. And if there's any questions or anybody has any problems with the stations, they can always give me a call or give Christina a call. So that's all I have.
If I may add this, I know that the Vermont Street station will be coming up for renovation, restoration very soon. There is the Irving Avenue, and that corridor between Irving and the Vermont Street station is targeted for this. If you see in the newsletter that went out last month from the city, it's targeted to be done this summer. The 123rd Street station, if you take the Metro, especially the old Rock Island line, that is a brand new station, new pavement, everything, as well as some upgrades, including the lighting, blacktop, fencing at the 119th Street station. And again, thank you for your service and hopefully continued service as a volunteer And it's a job that very few people knew about, but it's because of you and people dedicated to you, who maybe you don't live in Blue Island anymore, but your roots are here and you haven't forgotten the island. So that's why I'm asking that Mr. Dennis Rangel be reappointed so that he continues providing the service in our eyes and ears for the Chicago South Suburban Mass Transit District Board of Trustees. So I'm asking for a motion by Alderman Tom Hawley, second by Alderman Johnson. Any questions? Roll call, please.
Costas. Aye. Costas, aye. Rita.
Aye.
Rita, aye. Hawley.
Aye.
Hawley, aye. Hill.
Aye.
Hill, aye. Mack.
Aye.
Mack, aye. Carr.
Aye.
Carr, aye. Cantelo-Zylman.
Aye.
Cantelo-Zylman, aye. Clinker.
Aye.
Clinker, aye. Johnson.
Aye.
Johnson, aye. Alexander.
Aye.
Alexander, aye. 10 ayes, Your Honor.
Thank you very much. Continue making us proud. Go ahead.
Yes. I've known Mr. Rangel for a long time also, and I'm really glad to hear that you're doing all this stuff. And then my feeling is I appreciate all your work and stuff. And then the only other recommendation I would make is whatever you see, as the mayor just stated, you're the ears and eyes that you're doing this. Communicate with Mr. Postal, communicate with the mayor's office, so we can get things that, if you said the parking lots or whatever you saw, that Mr. Postal can communicate that to it and bring it to the committees and the aldermen, and we can see what we can do.
Okay,
Because
I
there is
didn't
a
know.
special fund for that.
Okay, I didn't know there was somebody I can talk to other than Christina, who usually takes care of the position.
Yeah, but
Okay.
if there's a process, that if there's something that you notice that needs to be addressed, discuss it with Mr. Postal, because he basically does maintenance of also of the parking lots and stuff, and he works with, Christine was there before, now it's Julianne.
Right.
So if there's something there that needs to be done, because as you stated, the parking lots is basically 39% of the parking lots that near metro stations are owned by Metro, 60-some% is owned by city. So there is a fund, restricted fund, to take care of those parking lots. So please communicate with Mr. Postal.
And who's Mr. Postman?
Yes.
That's you? Okay.
All right, thank you very much. Congratulations and
Thank
continue the
you.
good work.
Thank you.
All right,
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you.
Somebody left their cell phone
Okay.
back there, so I'm gonna put it in your hands, and hopefully whoever lost their cell phone.
I got it. Oh, it's our city treasurer.
I left it in the detention bag. Thank you.
Thank you. Let me move on to this. And this is really in a serious note, so you know. What I'm going to read, you can see on my column, as the mayor's column this month. This is a little bit of paraphrase as to what you're going to hear, and I'm going to go into more in depth. On March 3rd, 2020, at 7 p.m., I participated in a conference call including approximately 117 municipal mayors throughout the city, Chicago metropolitan area. The purpose of this call was to inform each other about the status of the coronavirus situation. Also, I participated in a conference call on March the 6th, 2020, with approximately 325 elected officials from the state of Illinois regarding the same coronavirus situation. So you know, weeks before the two conferences were made, Blue Island first responders, and that includes BIASMA, police chiefs, fire chiefs, public works, have been, as well as federal, state, county, and local public health officials, have been formulating an emergency plan for our community should an outbreak of coronavirus occur in our area. As you've seen, as late as this afternoon, there's a certain city in New York that's been quarantined. The city's website, per my orders, has been updated as a new information center for the Center for Disease Control, where you can obtain not only information from the Center for Disease Control, but from state and local counterparts as we received it. Per my instruction, the City of Blue Island has dedicated a section of our city's website for all information regarding the coronavirus. The site will provide current information and also inform you on how to acquire additional information regarding coronavirus-related website links. Please click on these links and follow the instructions and recommendations. Again, there's information that's privy to myself. I receive daily updates on the coronavirus, and I have implemented procedures in all our city departments concerning this matter and how to remain safe and healthy to continue providing services to all our residents. An emergency team within my staff has been formed in case it is needed. Let us remain calm but prepared. If you go on to today, if you go on our website, City of Blue Island, you'll see what appears to be like this. We've posted it, a diagram like this with some information on the doors at City Hall here at the East Annex. We'll make copies for the community as best as we can. Again, my suggestion is you go on a daily basis. Again, the website will be updated as new information comes to us. There is information, as I said, that's privy to myself. Regarding that, I have notes here. These notes were from the meeting on March the 3rd. These notes, the people who were involved were also Mayor Lightfoot from the City of Chicago. She was the host of that with 117 mayors. The other meeting was with the governor's office. They're the ones that were the host of that, and they provided information, again, to approximately 325 elected officials from the state of Illinois. As you see, the thing is spreading. Again, we need to remain calm. They're saying the risk is low, but we need to be prepared. As we've done in the city, we've gotten from disinfectants to wipes. Again, the main goal is to continue the cleanliness, the hygiene amongst ourselves. Again, if there's a need and I hear the call that needs to be done, I will ring that bell to do whatever needs to be done to keep this community safe. I promise you, as mayor, we will do whatever's in my power to keep this community safe, as well as the other mayors that surround us. We have a phenomenal staff, we have phenomenal elected officials, we have first responders, and we're here to serve you and make sure that everybody's safe. So, on a daily basis, if you can, and if there's information that you receive and you see that we don't have in our website, please forward that to us. But as I said before, I receive updates almost sometimes twice a day regarding the situation, and unfortunately, it is spreading in the country. Let's see what else we can say. That's all. City Clerk.
I have two items this evening, Your Honor. The first one is a motion to approve a request from Cook County High School Community School District 130 to hold their Fit for Life initiative on Friday, May 15th, 2020 from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. They're requesting streets blocked off and police presence throughout the race.
I have a motion by Alderman Rita, second by Alderman Tom Hawley. Any questions? Roll call, please.
Costas. Aye. Costas, aye. Rita.
Aye.
Rita, aye. Hawley.
Aye.
Hawley, aye. Hill.
Aye.
Hill, aye. Mack.
Aye.
Mack, aye. Carr.
Abstain.
Carr, abstain. Cantelo-Zylman.
Abstain.
Cantelo-Zylman, abstain. Clinker.
Aye.
Clinker, aye. Johnson.
Aye.
Johnson, aye. Alexander.
Aye.
Alexander, aye. 8 ayes and...
You can add mine also. I'll say aye.
Okay.
Thank you.
9 ayes and 2 abstentions.
Thank you very much. Next.
Next, I need a motion to approve a request from Blue Island Park District to hold the 5th Annual Blue Island Dragon Boat Festival on Saturday, June 6th, 2020 at the SEPA Station Waterfall along the Cal-Sag. Permission to use property from June 4th to June 7th, 2020.
We have a motion by Alderman Rita, second by Alderman Meck. Any questions? Roll call, please.
Costas. Costas, aye. Rita.
Aye.
Rita, aye. Hawley.
Aye.
Hawley, aye. Hill.
Aye.
Hill, aye. Mack.
Aye.
Mack, aye. Carr.
Aye.
Carr, aye. Cantelo-Zylman.
Aye.
Cantelo-Zylman, aye. Clinker.
Aye.
Clinker, aye. Johnson.
Aye.
Johnson, aye. Alexander.
Aye.
Alexander, aye. 10 ayes, Your Honor.
Thank you. Any bids?
No bids, Your Honor.
City Treasurer.
All the aldermen should have received the reconciliation statement ending in February 29, 2020. Need a motion, please?
Need a motion. Do we have a motion? Alderman Ringo Hill, second by Alderman Carr. Any questions? Roll call, please.
Costas. Costas, aye. Rita.
Aye.
Rita, aye. Hawley.
Aye.
Hawley, aye. Hill.
Aye.
Hill, aye. Mack.
Aye.
Mack, aye. Carr.
Aye.
Carr, aye. Cantelo-Zylman.
Aye.
Cantelo-Zylman, aye. Clinker.
Aye.
Clinker, aye. Johnson.
No.
Johnson, no. Alexander?
Aye.
Alexander, aye. 9 ayes and 1 no, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Okay, second of all, the restricted and unrestricted funds, the transfer of $363,995. Need a motion, please?
Need a motion by Alderman Tom Hawley. Do I have a second? By Alderman Mack. Any questions? Roll call, please.
Costas? Costas, aye. Rita?
Aye.
Rita, aye. Hawley?
Aye.
Hawley, aye. Hill?
Aye.
Hill, aye. Mack?
Oh, aye.
Mack, aye. Carr?
Aye.
Carr, aye. Cantelo-Zylman?
Aye.
Cantelo-Zylman, aye. Clinker?
Aye.
Clinker, aye. Johnson?
No.
Johnson, no. Alexander?
Aye.
Alexander, aye. 9 ayes and 1 no, Your Honor.
Thank you very much.
That's all.
That's it. Nothing else? City Attorney?
No report, Mr. Mayor.
Committee reports, Community Development Committee. Any report?
Yes, Your Honor. The Community Development Committee met on Wednesday, February 19th at 7 p.m. Present were Alderman Bellato, Cantelo, Mack, Cazares, and Alexander. Absent were Hawley and Johnson. Building Department rep was Howard Kapari. There was no public comment. Under new business, after hearing testimony of residents, it was decided to table the text amendment on adult use of cannabis so possible changes can be made to the ordinance. A special meeting will be held the following week. Motion by Cazares, second by Cantelo to approve the Dollar Tree sign variance located at 12625 Western Avenue. All ayes, motion carried. Motion by Cazares, seconded by Alexander to approve the sale agreement of 12751 Lincoln Street to Blue Bridge Properties at 2427 West 127th Street to Lyric Venture LLC. All ayes, Cantelo abstained, motion carried. Motion by Bellato, seconded by Alexander to approve the purchase and development of 13747 Western Avenue to Diesel Doctor Corporation. All ayes, motion carried. Motion by Cantelo, second by Cazares to approve demolition of 2050 West 119th Place, 12419 Greenwood Avenue, and 13826 Chatham Street. All ayes, motion carried. Motion by Cazares, seconded by Bellato to approve the MWRD second lease amendment agreement for Bios Farm. All ayes, motion carried. Motion by Bellato, seconded by Alexander to approve the IGA with the SSLBDA acquisition agreement. All ayes, motion carried. Motion by Bellato, seconded by Alexander to approve a Class 8 incentive for new construction at 13550 Chatham Street and a Class 8 for special circumstances at 13551 Chatham Street. All ayes, motion carried. There were short presentations by two separate solar power groups doing business within the city. There was an update given on the parking lot on Western Avenue and speed monitors. Both items will be reviewed at their next meeting. Ophelia Smith and Alex Leufman discussed issues with the committee, and the committee gave feedback and requested the parties to follow through with the special use processes. Motion by Cazares, seconded by Alexander to approve the design and purchase of Census 2020 banners along Western Avenue from 119th to 135th on every other light pole for a total quantity of 60 banners. All ayes, motion carried. That would be coming out of the Business Development District funds. There was discussion of the three properties on Old Western Avenue that need to be addressed: 13301, 13337, and 13426 Old Western. There was discussion on a pop-top policy to regulate the dramatic expansion of a property. Motion by Alexander, seconded by Cantelo to approve the purchase of 38 concrete planters to replace existing along Western Avenue from Doty & Sons Concrete Products. All ayes, motion carried. Motion by Alexander, seconded by Cazares to deny a peddler's license to Missionary Church of the Disciples of Jesus Christ. All ayes, motion carried. Sarah Brown gave the marketing report. Howard Kapari gave the building department report. There being no additional business discussed, motion made by Cantelo, seconded by Alexander to end the meeting at 10:33 p.m. All ayes, motion carried. Then on February 25th, there was a special meeting of the Community Development Committee. It was called to order at 6 p.m. Roll call was present were Alderman Bellato, Cantelo, Alexander, Cazares, and Johnson. Absent was Hawley and Meck. Building Department, no one was there. Public comment, Alan Stevo requested the cannabis be sent to a local referendum. Under new business, motion by Cantelo, seconded by Cazares to approve the minutes from the meeting of February 19th. All ayes, motion carried. Motion by Cazares, seconded by Johnson, to approve the ordinance of the City of Blue Island, amending the zoning ordinance of the Code of Blue Island, Illinois, regarding adult-use cannabis text amendment. All ayes, motion carried. Chairman Bellato allowed for additional time for any public comments. There were none. There being no additional business discussed, motion made by Alexander and seconded by Cantelo to end the meeting at 6:15. All ayes, motion carried. Our next meeting is tomorrow night at 7 o'clock in here.
All right, thank you very much. Finance Committee?
I'm sorry, Chief, I had a question.
Go ahead.
If the alderman could answer it, I'm not sure. The solar panels, I know it was a couple people there talking about them, but I know both of them were stating that it was time sensitive. Do you know if you guys were able to, or the chairman was able to get back to those companies, or the companies get back to the chairman in order to try to save the city some money?
If I remember correctly, information was exchanged to keep the conversation going, because I was aware that the time constraint was limited at that point. I think it was like 10:30 at night. So Chairman Bellato, Chairman Bellato did communicate, did give his information in order to get him back out to communicate and give us a full detail, because I also am very interested in what they have to say.
Thanks.
Any other questions? Okay, Finance Committee, any report? You want to jump on it?
I guess I will.
Okay.
I don't have a report, but, all right, so there's a couple of motions here. So there's a motion for approval of accounts payable check proof for March 11th, 2020 in the amount of $616,578.37.
Got a motion, do we have a second by Alderman Cantelo-Zylman? Any questions? Roll call, please.
Costas. Costas, aye. Rita.
Aye.
Rita, aye. Holly.
Aye.
Holly, aye. Hill.
Aye.
Hill, aye. Mac.
Aye.
Mac, aye. Carr.
Aye.
Carr, aye. Cantelo-Zylman.
Aye.
I'm sorry. Aye. Cantelo-Zylman, aye. Clinker.
Aye.
Clinker, aye. Johnson.
No.
Johnson, no. Alexander.
Aye.
Alexander, aye. 9 ayes and 1 no.
Thank you.
The second motion is for approval of payroll for February 21st, 2020 in the amount of $349,307 and no cents.
We got a motion, do we have a second by Alderman Rita? Any questions? Roll call, please.
Costas. Costas, aye. Rita.
Aye.
Rita, aye. Holly.
Aye.
Holly, aye. Hill.
Aye.
Hill, aye. Mac.
Aye.
Mac, aye. Carr.
Aye.
Carr, aye. Cantelo-Zylman.
Aye.
Cantelo-Zylman, aye. Clinker.
Aye.
Clinker, aye. Johnson.
No.
Johnson, no. Alexander.
Aye.
Alexander, aye. 9 ayes and 1 no, Your Honor.
Thank you.
The next one on the list is ordinance number 2020-012, an ordinance of the City of Blue Island, Cook County, Illinois, establishing a local motor fuel tax. I walked in late on, that was passed last night. I think it was explained to us by Attorney Horvath that we'd already approved that, but something changed and we needed to make some changes, so that's what we did.
Correct.
I'm sure you know more than I do,
All right,
so.
so there's
Yeah, it
is there a
had to be
motion?
updated because of the state, correct?
Right, there was a clarification about how the department is going to collect and disperse the money. So the department's requiring anyone who's already passed to pass a superseding ordinance that does the exact same thing, but just has the language that the department needed.
So we got a motion, do we have a second by Alderman Rita? Any questions? Roll call, please.
Costas.
Aye.
Costas, aye. Rita.
Aye.
Rita, aye. Holly.
Aye.
Holly, aye. Hill.
Aye.
Hill, aye. Mac.
Aye.
Mac, aye. Carr.
Aye.
Carr, aye. Cantelo-Zylman.
Aye.
Cantelo-Zylman, aye. Clinker.
Aye.
Clinker, aye. Johnson.
Aye.
Johnson, aye. Alexander.
Aye.
Alexander, aye. 10 ayes and no abstentions here.
Thank you.
And the last thing under finance is resolution number 2020-010, a resolution approving the application for the Community Development Block Grant Program Year 2020 and authorizing the mayor to execute the application and do all things necessary to complete this application.
You got a motion, second by Alderman Carr. Any questions? Roll call, please.
Costas. Costas, aye. Rita.
Aye.
Rita, aye. Holly.
Aye.
Holly, aye. Hill.
Aye.
Hill, aye. Mac.
Aye.
Mac, aye. Carr.
Aye.
Carr, aye. Cantelo-Zylman.
Aye.
Cantelo-Zylman, aye. Clinker.
Aye.
Clinker, aye. Johnson.
Aye.
Johnson, aye. Alexander.
Aye.
Alexander, aye. 10 ayes.
Thank you.
Give me a second. Our next finance meeting will be the 23rd. Nope, I'm sorry, the 16th at 6 PM here.
Thank you very much. Public Health and Safety Committee.
That's me too. Hang on one second. Okay, so we had the meeting on February 18th of 2020. We called it to order at 6:10 PM. Present were Alderman Carr, Hill, Farnwell, and myself, Chief Rita, Chief Arzab, and Sergeant Sepisi. Absent were Alderman Cazares, Slattery, Johnson, and Don Marchbanks. Motion was made by Alderman Farnwell and seconded by Alderman Hill to approve the minutes from the January 2020 meeting. All in favor, motion carried. Under citizens' concerns, Mr. Alan Stevo asked the committee to put the Robbie Silva case and possible obstruction of justice charges for members of the police department who are involved in the case on the committee's agenda every month until something is done. He states he wants people prosecuted for these charges. Under fire department business, Chief Rita presented the January 2020 monthly report. He stated there were 291 EMS responses, 97 fire responses, 14 auto aid responses, and 2 mutual aid responses during the month of January. Medical reimbursement collected $23,436.19 for the month. That's the year total also. Fire recovery collected $2,526 for the month. Same thing, that's the year total because this is January. False alarm fees collected $300 for the month. That's also the yearly total as of the end of January. Under calls of interest, Chief Rita reported the fire department had a busy start to the new year with assists to multiple fires out of town. He also reported a small fire at 12736 Division and 13039 Sealy. He stated they were both relatively small fires. Under general information, Chief Rita is continuing to prepare for the upcoming appropriations. Truck 2114 is still out of service. Engine 2103 is currently having transmission issues and is out of service. Just on a side note, that's back in service. I talked to him the other day. Fire prevention work is ongoing, including pre-plans and inspections. The chief presented his monthly training report, which showed 756.35 total hours for the members of the department for January. 2 firefighters just completed their 1-year probation. 1 firefighter who actually just started a little while ago has resigned and is moving on to the Schaumburg Fire Department, so he's going to be looking to hire somebody. Overtime and 7G hours were also included in his report. The entire department completed NFPA bloodborne pathogens training as well as sexual harassment training. The MABUS 22 box cards were reviewed and updated during the month. Under police department business, Chief wasn't there for our meeting, so she's got 2 reports. So we're going to go with the December of 2019 report. She had missed the month before because she was busy with a call. The police department collected $51,565.71 during the month of December 2019. There were 2,459 incidents recorded during the month. 5 firearms were recovered. Training hours and overtime totals were also reported. The new Axon Taser training has been completed, and new devices have been issued for certified department members. Chief Arzab reported that 2 fleet vehicles and 1 detective vehicle had to be decommissioned due to various reasons, mainly age and costly repair estimates. Under cases of interest, on December 1st, 2019, there was an armed robbery in the 12200 block of Washington. The victim and the suspect knew each other prior to the robbery. The investigation provided evidence for prosecution, but the victim declined to prosecute. On December 3rd, 2019, there was an aggravated vehicular hijacking in the 2600 block of Vermont Street. 3 male subjects approached the vehicle and announced a robbery. The suspects fled the scene after not being able to operate the vehicle. All 3 were apprehended. 1 suspect was charged, and the other 2 had significant cognitive disabilities, and they were returned to their parents. On December 6, 2019, there was a fatal vehicle versus pedestrian car crash at 127 in California. The victim was pronounced deceased at Advocate Christ Medical Center. On December 9th, 2019, a USPS letter carrier was robbed in the 12000 block of Artesian. Officers located the suspect with the help of civilian witnesses, and the suspect was charged accordingly. On December 12th, 2019, 2 children were taken by their father in a domestic-related kidnapping. During the investigation, the children were located and were returned to their mother, and the investigation is ongoing. Under community engagements, department members assisted with the light parade, Rock Around the Clock, Chicago Police, and Fargo filming in town. Chief attended the Illinois State Police graduation of Officer Holloway. The police also distributed gifts that were collected by the FOP to families in need at Christmas time. Chief Arzab reported a severe reduction in funding for the Northeast Multi-Regional Training Group, Due to Public Act 100-0987, this will have a huge impact on the department's training going forward, as reimbursements for basic law enforcement academy training will likely be suspended. A letter from Red Speed was presented. Red Speed Illinois was presented along with a letter from the Illinois Comptroller regarding their discontinuation of collection of red light ticket fines. She stated this will reduce our revenue collected throughout the year. Chief reported on monthly statistics for the department. Chief Arzea presented, okay, now we're into the January report. Chief Arzea presented the January 2020 report. She reported that Officer John Ciccarello has been awarded a duty disability benefit from the Blue Island Police Pension Fund. She thanked Officer Ciccarello for his years of dedication to the department. 3 officers have completed stage 2 of their field training program. Chief Arzea attended training regarding adult use, recreational use, cannabis law, and meetings of the Suburban Major Accident Reconstruction Team and South Suburban Major Crimes Task Force. The police department collected $52,329.33 during the month of January 2020. There were 1,978 incidents recorded during the month. 10 firearms were recovered. Training hours and overtime totals were also reported. Report of child abuse, report of child abuse and neglect training and mandatory standard field sobriety training, refresher training has been assigned to all officers. AED and CPR refresher training is being scheduled with the fire department. The Lexipol policy manual has been fully issued and is in effect. The department is taking delivery of 2 vehicles that are now being built through the vendor with all the lights and stickers and all that kind of stuff. Chief reported that the department has been solicited by the Illinois Statewide Auto Theft Task Force to assign a Blue Island police officer to them. This is similar to the DEA task force assignment, but it includes full reimbursement, including salary, insurance, a vehicle. What the Secretary of State runs this program. This would be a 7-year commitment and would result in the department hiring an additional officer to offset the assignment. I think that was just an FYI at the time. It's something they're looking into. Various firearms being held in custody at the police department are being disposed of utilizing the free services of a company called Gunbusters. Cases of interest. On January 21st, 2020, there was a homicide at the Shell gas station at 119 in Western. The investigation by Blue Island police detectives and the South Suburban Major Crimes Task Force collected evidence, reviewed video surveillance, and identified the offender. The suspect was positively identified. Police executed a search warrant at the suspect's residence and recovered 2 firearms, one being suspected as the one that was used in the homicide. An arrest warrant has been issued. The suspect remains at large. The FBI Fugitive Task Force is assisting in the search. Chief reported this was an isolated incident that had nothing to do with the gas station. It was not a robbery of the station. It was a situation between 2 people that went bad. Chief Arzab reported on the monthly statistics for the department. Chief requested approval for an agreement between the department and the Cook County Emergency Telephone System Board for the use of public safety purposes of 15 handheld portable radios. This was at no cost to the city. After a brief discussion, a motion was made by Alderman Farnwald and seconded by Alderman Carr to approve this agreement to send it to the Finance Committee for their review. Voice vote was held. All in favor, motion carried. So we sent that off to Finance. Chief requested approval for an agreement with PropertyRoom.com for property and auction services. This company arranges for surplus, abandoned, and unclaimed property to be picked up, evaluated, and auctioned online. The department would receive a portion of any proceeds collected. A motion was made by Alderman Hill, seconded by Alderman Farnwell to approve this agreement and send it to the Finance Committee for their review. Voice vote was held. All in favor, motion carried. We got into a little bit of the illegal fireworks on the 4th of July, which is something that you had requested, Mr. Mayor. Yes. The chief reported on the illegal use of fireworks in Blue Island. She stated the department has better staffing this year and will attempt to staff the 4th of July better. It's also dependent on things like the amount of calls that they receive, which limits their ability to respond to them. They're planning on placing the use of illegal, sorry, I got to turn the page, fireworks awareness items on the city website, on their Facebook page, alerting the public of the laws, ordinances, and dangers of fireworks. They will also include the fines associated with their use so people know what they're getting themselves into. She's also planning on reviewing the fee schedule with the city clerk to make sure that they're up to date. Alderman Clinker asked that she utilize BITV as well as a way to get the word out. So she's basically going to start a blitz to let everyone know that it's illegal and they're going to be enforcing it. So we'll catch up with her again next month on that one just to see if, make sure it's getting done. Alderman Carr requested a copy of the 2018 Police Department incident counts. Chief said she's going to send those to the committee. There was a discussion regarding the rash of catalytic converter thefts in town. Chief said the department follows up on the reports of stolen converters, but they're very difficult to police this type of theft. It happens really quick. They just get into the car and cut it off and they're gone in a matter of seconds. So they're aware of that, and they're keeping an eye out for that. Alderman Farnwell has set up a speeding task force town hall meeting for March 31st at the East Annex. Time has not been set. A little side note on that one, I got an email from him today. He's looking at possibly postponing that due to corona concerns. So we'll keep that posted, keep you posted on the website. So that's what he's looking to maybe push it back a little bit until that all kind of goes through. Under Alderman concerns that were done, motion was made at 6:50 by Alderman Farnwell and seconded by Alderman Carr to adjourn. All in favor, motion carried. Our next meeting was scheduled for March 17th, but that's election day, so it's canceled. So I talked to both chiefs, and they really don't have a lot other than their monthly reports. So our next meeting will be April 21st at 6 p.m. here.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Municipal Services Committee.
Yes, Your Honor.
Oh, sorry. I thought you said judiciary. I apologize.
Committee report for the meeting of February 11th. Present were Jim Postel, Bob Jackson, Betty Harmeyer, Eric Alvarez, Alderman Meck, Alderman Farnwell, Alderman Rita, and Alderman Carr. Absent were Ted Ruthenberg and Alderman Slattery. The meeting was called to order at 6:04 p.m. Under citizens' concerns, Rafael and Joe Fernandez asked about removing the maple tree in their parkway. They feel that it is collapsing the sewer line and the tree suffers from tar spot. It is not the city's practice to remove trees from the parkway unless they are dead or dying, and tar spot is not fatal to the host tree. Alderman Farnwell asked if the residents were willing to have the tree removed at their own expense. It has since been determined that a permit process would have to be put in place authorizing residents to remove trees from the parkway. This matter has been referred to the Judiciary Committee. Under Public Works, Jim Postel presented his report. Nancy Rita commended the Public Works Department of their handling of the recent snowstorms. There was a motion by Alderman Rita, second by Alderman Meck, to approve a handicap parking permit at 12501 Highland Avenue. All in favor, motion carried. Under the Water Department, Betty Harmeyer gave her report. Under the John D. Rita Recreation Center, there were no incidents to report at the rec center in January. There was a discussion on the Crawford roofing proposal, followed by a motion to approve by Alderman Rita, second by Alderman Farnwell. All in favor, motion carried. This proposal was subsequently amended by the Finance Department and passed to Council on February 25th. The Black History event at the Rec Center will be held on February 29th from 5 to 8 p.m. Under the Meadows Golf Course, there was no report. Under Robinson Engineering, Eric Alvarez gave an update on ongoing projects. Mr. Alvarez requested that the committee make a determination on which eligible street or streets would be paved with the CDBG grant money. It was determined by the committee that the best use of the funds would be the repaving of 3 blocks of 119th Place. That was brought to the council tonight. There were no aldermen's concerns. There was a motion to adjourn by Alderman Rita, second by Alderman Farnwell. Motion carried. Meeting was adjourned at 6:38. I do have ordinance number 2020-013. Excuse me. An ordinance rescinding handicap parking restrictions at 2212 123rd Place in the city of Blue Island, county of Cook, and state of Illinois.
We have a motion. Do we have a second by Alderman Rita? Any questions? Roll call, please.
Costas. Costas, aye. Rita.
Aye.
Rita, aye. Holly.
Aye.
Holly, aye. Hill.
Aye.
Hill, aye. Meck.
Aye.
Meck, aye. Carr.
Aye.
Carr, aye. Cantelo-Zylman.
Aye.
Cantelo-Zylman, aye. Clinker.
Aye.
Clinker, aye. Johnson.
Aye.
Johnson, aye. Alexander.
Aye.
Alexander, aye. 10 ayes, Your Honor.
Thank you very much.
Our next regular meeting will be Tuesday, April the 14th at 6 p.m.
Thank you very much, Alderman. Judiciary Committee.
Okay, so I read my minutes at the last city council meeting, and judiciary was canceled, as I mentioned at our last council meeting, due to the election. And as Alderman Clinker mentioned, I have not been given any items for the agenda. So we're going to have our judiciary meeting April 21st, 2020 at 7 p.m.
Thank you very much. Any aldermanic announcements or comments?
I just wanted to give a shout out to the students that were out in the audience. I believe they're from Eisenhower. I see some familiar faces, and it's nice to see you here. And also, I wanted to say kudos to Bob Jackson for the Black History Night at the Rita Rec Center. It was a wonderful night, and I think they did a great job.
Thank you. Anybody else? If not, I need a motion to retire to executive session for consideration of pending litigation and discussion of settlement with PTAB docket number 18-24559 and pending 2019 PTAB case. We have a motion by Alderman Mack. Do I have a second by Alderman Rita? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Nay.
I need a motion to reconvene the regular session. Motion by Alderman Cortez, second by Alderman Carr. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Council, the floor is yours.
Thank you. In our closed session, we discussed some pending litigation, which is a case at the Property Tax Appeal Board, Great Northern Lumber, relating to 2201 Davis Street, Blue Island.
Do you need a motion?
Yes, I do.
Need a motion by Alderman Mack, second by Alderman Alexander. Roll call, please.
Costas. Costas, aye. Rita.
Aye.
Rita, aye. Holly.
Aye.
Holly, aye. Hill.
Aye.
Hill, aye. Mack.
Aye.
Mack, aye. Carr.
Aye.
Carr, aye. Cantelo-Zylman.
Aye.
Cantelo-Zylman, aye. Clinker.
Aye.
Clinker, aye. Johnson.
Aye.
Johnson, aye. Alexander.
Aye.
Alexander, aye. 10 ayes.
Thank you very much. Now I need a motion for adjournment. There's a motion by Alderman Johnson, second by Alderman Cantelo-Zylman. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? And just so you know, keep you informed, send any updates again, check our website, city website. Thank you very much.